What's up, guys? Today I'll be showing you guys a new updated version on my skin faces course. So you know that old video was almost like a year ago, but I just now posted it for you guys within the last 5 months. 3 months, I'm sorry. But this video is pretty much a year old, so I want to go ahead and give you guys an updated version. A more quicker version, but if you want to be so detailed as in what I did in the last video, I advise you just go check out the last video on the skin tutorial and custom faces video. That's more detailed than what I'm going to show today, but today I'll be providing you a beginner's lesson that's pretty much quick and easy so that you can get on your way with making faces in a short amount of time. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. Alright guys, so for starters, I'm going to tell everyone this, and you must listen when I say this. You can only use an older Photoshop. Now, if you tried the newer Photoshop and it works, kudos to you. But in order for the things to work properly in your Photoshop, you need to have an older version. That's 2018, 2019, or 2020. Now, I've used 2023 in like my tattoo course, which pretty much works as well. 2021 absolutely does not work for faces at all. There's an issue with 2021 in their 3D mode and giving out the wireframe. So I repeat, guys, this will only work if you use an older version of Photoshop, because they are discontinuing, or pretty much have already discontinued, the 3D feature on newer Photoshops. Okay. All right, so today I will be using version 2020 Photoshop. Once again, that's 2020, and you need to be using the older version here. Okay, so if you already have my face tools, you already have your templates for everything. So you have your skins here, you have your PSBs, you have your male and female extra things like the teeth, hair, and all that stuff. Cool. So this should be pretty much easy. I went ahead and put it in PSB formats so that it's much easier for you guys than to just work with OBJs. So if you have my face tools, this will be much easier for you. Okay. So in order to put this in Photoshop, you can drag and drop. I'm going to teach you guys just to drag and drop. You normally do not have to go to File, Open, and all that. No, we're dragging and dropping everything. Okay. And when I say everything, I mean everything. So what we're going to go ahead and do is go ahead and put our first head in, which is the skin head, the head that you choose in GTA 1 through 45, those parent heads. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one. I'm going to go ahead and do head 21. So I'm going to drag it and drop it in and let it load, let it load. So you're going to come into a 3D mode version. So if you don't have the 3D mode already activated, all you have to do is go into edit up here, preferences, 3D. If you aren't able to highlight it, just go to general. And then you're going to go to 3D, and you want to make sure all this stuff is exactly how I have it. I believe this wasn't activated when I first did it, but make sure that all this stuff here is checked and that you're able to move on. So another thing we have been encountering with our courses is when you input the head or the OBJ, it makes it dark. So in order to fix that, you want to make sure there is a light here that you can move. So once you click it, you can move it around as much as you want to get the light on. So if your OBJ is dark, it really doesn't matter because the template won't be dark. But in order to see, just click it and move your mouse around the orbit here. And then to click off, just click in the gray area here. Now, if your orbit does not move, what you're going to go ahead and do is go into 3D on this right side here. Go into infinite light here, and you should be able to change and adjust the lights. You can also go into the light setting here, and there's a light. So that is how you adjust it. Okay. and you add different lights. So you can go to different lights on here, however you feel needs to get yours working as normal. Okay, so I'm just gonna add back in my default light, and I want it to get it as bright as possible, simply because you want to know what you're doing. Okay, so now that we have the 3D head model in, what we're going to go ahead and do is pull up our UV template here. So make sure on the right here where it says layers, click layers if you're not already on it. It's going to say under base color and textures, PS3D default texture. You're going to double click it and you should see your UV. Now, if you're not seeing a UV at all, there's two things. To the right under properties, UV overlay should be checked. If it's not checked, you may not see the UV overlay. So when you check the UV overlay, it should have the UV lines and everything here, or the template. Now, if this is checked and you still do not see it, you have the wrong Photoshop, okay? Like I said, you must use an older version. 2021. In this case, if you're using 2021, the overlays on the 3D feature does not absolutely work, okay? So you need a 2018, 2019, or 2020, or one that just works for you, okay? Now, so we have our first layer here. Okay, so next what we want to go ahead and do now is find a photo. Before we even put on our skin template, we want to go ahead and find a photo that works for us. That way we can match it up with our skin template. So the best way, I already mentioned, you can find photos through Pinterest. So as like here, a good search would be face templates. And a lot of face templates do pop up. You can use the one with the eyes. You don't have to use ones with eyes if you don't want to. So what I want to do, I want to use a bare face, because in this tutorial, I want to go ahead and add makeup and all that other stuff that will enhance the features of the face. So I'm just going to find a little quick template. A lot of times you can use face templates like this, but you will have to match it up, which we are going to do later on. So I just want to find a bare face with no makeup, none of that, no eyelashes, nothing. All right, so I found one. I feel like I can do a lot with the lips, add in more of a thicker eyelashes. I feel like she's perfect. So I'm just gonna work with her face here. So once you find your face, you want to go ahead and just find a template that matches up with her skin. So if you have my face course tools, here are the templates. We have the white, black, lat, chai, pack, and aura. So with her, I might want to do a dark but lighter than dark, maybe like lat. So I'm just going to test this out. You have to test it out on your skins as well to make sure it pretty much sort of matches up. She might end up having to go to the darker one. So I'm just going to go ahead and place the template inside on this wire frame. So once you have the skin you want to use, just go ahead and, like I said, we're dragging and dropping today, okay? Drag and drop, drag and drop, okay? So I might want to do, let me try to see one more time here. Maybe lat, but we will see once we put it on. So once you drag and drop it in, you're going to go ahead and hit the enter key, or you can hit the check mark up here. There's no need to change anything or stretch it out or anything because it fits on perfect with the UV. Okay, so hit enter and you have your template on your UV here. All right, So next, what I like to do, I like to go ahead and add on a new layer in the wireframe area here, or 2D. I'm going to call this the 2D mode. So 2D mode, I like to add on another layer just in case I end up messing up and it's not on this first layer where I have to go all the way back over. So add on a new layer down here. You see the box with the plus sign in it, and you're on a new layer here. So you can close it out if you want. All right. So make sure you click that layer that is new, the new one, layer 1. And we're going to go back over to our OBJ or our 3D model by clicking that other tab, the first tab. And once you click in, you're going to see that face model on. So I might end up going darker, but let me fix my lights here. It could simply just be the lights. One other thing to note, if you do this and you need to get your face back into place and you don't know if it's straight or anything, you're going to go back over to 3D camera up here in the properties where it says custom view 2, hit default, and it goes right back into place. That way you're not, nothing's crooked, okay? We don't want any crookedness with the faces. All right, so I might end up going a little bit lighter. It's a much darker, so I might end up going a little bit lighter. In order to test it out, we're going to go ahead and drop in this photo. So you can grab the photo to where you downloaded it from, and we're just going to drop it into our 3D layer only. And in order to zoom in, you can hit Control plus, it zooms in, but just remember it's going to give you this black thing like this, but you can move up and down to just remove it. Or the zoom in position is at the bottom left right here. All right, so you just click it and then input a number. So what we're gonna go ahead and do now is throw in the face template, and I'm just gonna throw it in like that. Now what we have to do, because we can't see the back, so we're going to have to size it down and put in a opacity on it. So make sure you're on layers here. Do not click anything. Do not click enter. Just make sure you're on layers. Make sure image 1 is selected, which is the image that you just put in, and go and turn down opacity. 30% is pretty good to see. If you can't see, just bring it up. So now what we want to go ahead and do is match up the eyes with the GTA head here. Kind of sort of the lips, but you don't want to do too much on it. What I like to do is just match up the eyes. If the nose is too far up, it's probably because you need to stretch it out a little bit more. And I think this is perfect here. So like I said, we're going to fix all of this over here. So now what you want to do is go ahead and hit enter once you find a good placement on the eyes. And we're going to fix everything with that. So hit enter. And now what we're going to do is go into our filter up here to the top. Go into liquefy. All right, then we're going to lock all the eyes here so that it does not move. Trust me, it will not mess up your stuff. So, and then go all the way down to where it says show backdrops. Use layer 1, and it should have the mode behind. And then opacity is where you change the opacity as well. So I'm just going to zoom in with Control plus. And now what we want to do is start to change the position of all her facial features. So the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. So the eyes should be where they should be, but we want to make sure that we change it to match up with the eyes together, because sometimes it may be, you have to slant them. And we want to make sure that the nose is matching up. So what I like to do with the nose, because I know the nose is pretty much bigger, I like to go in just a tad bit, not a lot. If you want to keep the shape of the big nose, just don't do too much to it. Because we're definitely going to edit it anyways. And then you want to make sure that the line on the mouth matches up. All right, so once you have it placed to where how you want it to place, just make sure that the mouth line is where it should be, because that's the opening for when you talk in game. Okay, so now what we're going to go ahead and do is hit OK. Once you have it at a perfect place, you're going to hit OK. So now that we have it all set to how we want it to set, now if the eyes are off a little bit more, you can go back into liquefy and do it again. Because I know when you first go into liquefy, it has limitations to how big and how small you can do the eyes, nose, and the mouth. So if it gives you the maximum, you can always hit OK. Go back into filter, hit the second liquefy, not the first, the second liquefy, and make it smaller or bigger of however you want it to be. All right, so as you see, the nose is overlapping, so it's best to put that nose in. So like I said, if you have issues like that, just go back into liquefy, hitting the second one, lock the eyes here, make sure you use layer 1. We're going to zoom in and we're going to tighten in that nose. So it's giving me limitations. So I'm going to hit OK. Go back into liquefy. Lock the nose. Layer 1. Zoom in. And I'm going to go back in with the nose again. So now, and I'm just going to line up the darkness, the hole. So now I'm able to do whatever I want. Now that she has a smaller nose that matches up. So I'm going to hit OK, and this should now be perfect for me. So the next thing you want to do before anything, you want to go ahead and turn the opacity back up to 100%. And we're going to merge this layer down. Now, a lot of times you may have to rasterize it before merging it down, but if it merges down perfectly, you don't have anything else to do. Okay. All right, so we do see imperfections in it as far as the nose, the eyes, of course. And now what we're gonna have to do is go ahead and delete a lot of this stuff on it. So I feel like my light is not hitting it how it should be hitting it. So it's best to not even touch the lights in the beginning. Okay, it's getting there. All right, so now what we want to go ahead and do is go into our 2D layer. And like I said earlier, I feel like this template is too dark for her. We're just going to clean up everything around the face, the mouth, the nose, and everything, and the eyes as well. So we're going to erase, okay? So we're going to erase everything at the bottom, of course, so that we can see those eyes a little bit up under the chin. Let me turn this down a little bit. I'm going to erase those gray areas all around here. And I feel like this skin template is not going to be her good color. So what I'm going to do, if you find out that the skin template is not going to be the color of her skin, you can always go in and just drop on a new template and layer it below. And I feel like this template might work for her instead. So I'm going to delete that first one. All right, so I'm just going to go back over to the 3D head. And this is actually perfect for her. and they may still be a little bit stuff still on her face. So we're going to clean this stuff up here. Go back over to the 3D, and she may have some stuff that's on her neck, or it may just be the light. And I'm going to get rid of this UV template here so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so if you have one that really needs to be cleaned up as far as matching the skin tone, what we're going to go ahead and do now, because I did see over here, she did have like a little bit of stuff like this right here. In this area right here. And the neck as well. So like this. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go into our 2D mode. We're going to go over to these three dots and right click, and we're going to find the smudge tool here. Make sure that your layer is clicked, and we're going to smudge, just drag, click and drag, click and drag. But before you do that, you want to make sure that you use her skin tone, okay? So I'm just going to grab one point of her skin tone, and we're going to click and drag. So her skin matches perfectly with the template that I am using. So I really don't have to do too much, but this is an example for you guys that would have to do a lot to match it up. So all I'm doing is click, drag, and release. Click, drag, release. Like quick drags. All right. So now I'm just going to check the template here really quick to see what it's looking like. As you can see, it did clear it up. All right. So if you want to like clean up that little area right there, just make sure your smudge tool strength is down as well. And you just kind of like click instead. Do tiny pulls on it. And I'm just clicking and doing like tiny pulls on it. All right, and that gets rid of the harsh lines. And I'm just going to go back over, double check my face, and it pretty much looks good. So this part right here, I wouldn't worry. I believe it's just the lighting on it, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. All right, so now guys, let's go ahead and throw on like some makeup and things like that, because it looks perfect already. So in order to throw on like makeup type stuff, so I feel like her lashes could be a little bit more better than what it is now. I had to zoom out for you. So just remember, whatever is on your template is going to be on this. But like I said, this area at the bottom here is not on my template, so you will not see that in game right there. So if that does happen to you, so like I said, it's probably just pretty much the light. Yes, it's the lighting. It's the lighting. All right, so we can go ahead and find some lashes. So in order to find some lashes, we can always go into Pinterest again, and we can search for PNG lashes. A lot of time ibis paint, when they have ibis paint like this, you can find a lot of lashes. So I'm gonna see about this one to see if it is a true PNG. Has to get ones that are true PNG, or you'll be having a lot of work to do and it may not even turn out right. So I found one that's true PNG that I want to use in my downloads here. The picture didn't show, but I'm gonna just go ahead and drop it in. So this is a true PNG, no white background. All right, so this same one is a PNG too, right here, but it has a white background. So know the difference. This is a true PNG, even though this is a PNG as well. This is a true PNG. So we want to get rid of that one with the white background. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to put in the eyelashes. So just size it down here. Might have to turn it to get it to match up. If it keeps like going into like a snapping into place, all you have to do is hit control and it won't snap into place like that, or hold down control. All right, so this is the place I want to have it. So I'm going to hit enter or the check mark at top. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is actually duplicate this layer here, because we want to change it to the other side as well. So now I'm going to get that duplicated layer and I'm going to put it to the other eye, but this time I'm going to hit edit, transform, and flip horizontal. And I'm just going to fix it up. All right. So now I'm going to just go ahead and just merge this down, merge down, merge down. And then let's take a look at it. So if you see it like that, you might end up having to edit this little part. It will do that because it's merging down. So if it does that, it's because the fault should have been straight. So I'm going to redo that. And I'm going to make it smaller. It should be straight. Your default head should be straight on default. And these should actually be a little bit smaller so that it won't stretch. All right, so I'm just going to clean up this stuff. So now that it is merged down, I'm going to clean up the eyes. And if nothing comes up, like for an example, like one of the eyelashes is definitely missing. So I'll close out of this, don't save it. And I'm going to hit the pet texture default again. And I'm just going to start erasing whatever needs to be erased here. All right, so Photoshop will give you some trouble sometimes. As you've seen, one of the eyelashes was moving when I did this here. Not sure why, but it's fixed now. So now what I want to go ahead and do is add in like some filters to her lips. So once again, we're going to go and find PNG photos. So this one you can do lip gloss or lip shine, ibis paint, a lip gloss, ibis paint, and you will find plenty here like this one right here. You can always use that. You can use this one here. I'm gonna use this one. So pretty much all you'll do is right click, save image as. It's a JPEG. All right, so I'm going to use this for the lips. So the best way to do this, you don't want to put it on here because that black background will still be showing. So for an example, if I were to drop this here and I do my tools of putting it as a screen, it's in front, but the black background is in the back still. So if you merge this down, that black background will go in front. So I'm going to show you for example. Merge this down, it's going to be like that. So you don't want to put anything but the skin texture and the lashes on your on your 3D model, or if you have like small little things. But anything you have to screen with the background like this, you would want to actually put it on your 2D layer. So let's go ahead and go over to our 2D layer. We have everything here. Those are my lashes. You can also do lashes on a 2D layer as well, but it's a lot of adjusting with it. Let me make sure everything is not on here on this eye part. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add in another layer, and I'm just going to drop that screen image here, there. I'm going to change the normal to screen, and I'm just going to place it right on the lips. So I'm going to zoom in and place it right on the lips. You can use the warp feature, but make sure that it's selected and rasterized. Control T, use the warp feature to get it how you like. And we're going to check it out. It'll be a little bit better or a little bit lighter. All right, so you get it down to as far as you like. So I like that. I'm gonna go ahead and find something else. Ibis Paint, through Ibis Paint, maybe like some more makeup. This is for the cheeks as well. You can use all types of stuff, so you can use glitter, shine, whatever you like. Skin details, and you can use this right here, drop it in like a nose detail. Just make sure to put it on screen, rasterize it, put it on screen. You can make it lighter. You also do cheeks if you want to add it on the cheeks. Just remember to do most of your stuff in this. But honestly, you can do pretty much everything in this layer right here. So even your eyelashes, if you are having issues with the eyelashes on the 3D mode, you can go over to your 2D to input it in. All right, so like I said, that is how you find the makeup and everything. So what you're now going to go ahead and do is just pretty much right click on one of the layers and then merge visible. And then you pretty much got yourself a template. So how to put this in, you can watch one of my other videos on how to add it in FiveM or GTA. So here is the finished look. You can also go ahead and throw in some edges, which is also in my folder, female edges, and you can just throw some on. Just remember, if you have the green can go into black, okay? Hit enter in order to make it black. I know there's green edges in there. It's a purpose for the green edges. So in order to change the color to black, pretty simple. There's many ways of changing this black. You can put paint over it, which I don't recommend. But you can go to image up here, adjustments, and this is all the stuff you can do to change it black. But you can hit black and white. It will turn it gray for a moment, but go down to the presets and hit maximum black, hit OK, And there you have it. And then you would merge this down as well. If it doesn't show on your 3D mode, it's okay, it's on here, but just go ahead and exit out of this, bring back up your 3D mode, or your 2D mode, I'm sorry, put back on the edges, that's green, hit enter, go back in, you should see it. So now you can go back and go to image, adjustments, black and white, default to maximum black, okay. And as you see, it changed the color. Okay, so that is pretty much how you do it. And just go ahead and just merge that bad boy down and you are set. All right, and there you have it. You have now completed a face full with extra details, makeup, and everything else. Okay.